Alright, I apologize in advance for the wind, but it's kind of a windy day, but it's great because it's not hot. So off in the distance is Cebu Island. I am here in Dumaguete, and I'm going to do a little walking tour. I believe this is Dumaguete's first high-rise condo that's going in. But, you know, Cebu's got a lot of them. Manila's got a lot of them. Iloilo's got a lot of them. But this is a first for the area. So we got the Lantau restaurant, which has a great breakfast buffet on the weekends. So we'll just take a walk down to the port from here. There's not really any sidewalks. You just kind of walk down the side of the road and hope for the best. This is the Hi restaurant. Really good friend of mine owns this place over here called Jamrock. I don't know if you can see the yellow and green sign. Some of the best food I've had in the Philippines. Very, very good, very healthy, very tasty. So if you're in Dumaguete, come down to Jamrock Cafe. There's a lot of new construction going in, kind of like what you're looking at right now. But you can say that about anywhere in the world. There's always new construction going on. I don't know if you can see the landmass off in the distance, but that is Siquijor Island. Never been there yet, but I would like to go. So this road is on the main route for a lot of these buses. So that bus was heading up to San Carlos, which I was there a couple weeks ago. I have some video footage, but it's on my other camera, so I'll be uploading that. The main mode of transportation is right here. It's the tricycle. So yeah, so to get around, it's roughly, I think, 10 pesos or about 25 cents. It's a shared ride system, so you know, you can get as many as 6 people, I believe. You can rent them out. You say you want a special ride, and then you just pretty much pay for all the seats in the tricycle. So instead of it being a quarter, it might be $1, maybe $1.50. But then you have your own tricycle. You don't have to share it with anybody. That's what I prefer to do most of the time. I mean, for me, $1 is not too much. It's still cheaper than riding a bus in New York or Seattle. Way cheaper. The national bird, the rooster. That's 3 or 4 in the morning. If you're not awake, you will be. I'll just kind of hang out for a second. There's some buses coming. Like I said, this is on a main bus route. so it takes a little while to get out of town. And there's only let's see, 2 or 3 ways to get out of town. Not too many. Looks like a private residence. They say the water by Dumaguete is not the cleanest, so I probably wouldn't swim here. But there are places about half an hour down the road that you could swim in. There are some resorts down south, about 30 minutes from here. I think it's called Darwin. I haven't been there yet. Or you could take the ferry across to Cebu or Siquijor, where the beaches and the water are a lot nicer. Well, there's a peek at the port. Dumaguete's got a pretty big port. Dumaguete is a provincial capital, kind of like a state capital, I guess, in the States. I think there's about 125,000 people in Dumaguete. But there's a lot of people that come into the city during the day from the towns surrounding it. So, you could probably easily get, 250,000 people in town on a work day. So, pretty interesting. Huh, look at that. Do not enter marine sanctuary. Ha! Supposedly, this is a mobile library. I don't know about that one. I've never seen it open anytime I walked by it. Maybe it's just open in the evenings, and if so, I've never been by in the evenings. Yeah, that's the other thing. When you're riding a scooter here, and you hear that horn of a bus or a truck behind you, there's not many more things in life that scare me than the horns here. They're just loud, they're obnoxious. Well, they do their job. They make their point. There's a travel agency. In the States, there aren't that many travel agencies anymore because most people just book their own travel online. But here, most people still don't have personal computers at home. So the travel agency still plays a big part in people's travel plans. This is one of those sorry stores. Sorry store. Just like a little neighborhood store. You can buy some drinks, cigarettes, some cooking essentials. Many people have those types of stores here. It earns them a little bit of money, not big money, but that's okay. most people survive here on very little. So if a Sari store can pull in $5 or $6 or $7 a day, that's okay. So it looks like this guy here has got a makeshift wheelchair. Got a little store. This one actually has a little bit more. It's got some ice cream. There aren't ice cream trucks here like in the States. You're not going to find those too much. Go around this guy here. He wants to get into a parking spot. Emissions testing. Believe it or not, they care about what comes out of a vehicle here, even though it may not seem like it here downtown. I don't know if you see that sign over there, welcome to Zone 3. Wrong guy. Lock, maybe? I don't know. But a barangay is just a smaller part of a city. Kind of like, you know, in New York you have districts. Most cities you have these districts that are smaller parts of the city. So here's a tricycle up close. I have to wait for the traffic to clear. All right. Getting closer to the main port area to go. They have ferries to Manila, I believe, once or twice a week. But taking a ferry from here to Manila is like a 24-hour affair. It's not the preferred way to go. Now, that's kind of a deluxe bus. So the buses that come over from Bacolod are a little bit nicer. That one might have even had a bathroom on board. But this bus you can see coming up, that's more your basic kind of bus. That one's going to San Carlos. That one does not have a bathroom on board. But the buses, they stop enough. The drivers, they want, here's part of the port area. The drivers, they want smoke breaks, so they'll stop every hour or two for that. But there may not necessarily be a bathroom. You just have to kind of walk up to the wall there and just do your business against the wall. But probably not a good idea to do that here since this is a elementary school. But people here, they'll do it anyways. If it's a wall, they'll pee on it. In the States, that would get you a ticket or worse. In Cebu, you don't see these tricycles. They're not permitted in the city. If you go to the outskirts, suburbs, like Talisay, Mandawi, then you'll start to see them more. But in the city, not so much. At nighttime, I don't know if you can see behind these vehicles, But they do some barbecue out here. Ah, that's probably what these, maybe it's what these cows are here for. I don't know. But yeah, at nighttime, these little booths open up, and you can come down here and get some barbecue. Now, when you take a ferry in the Philippines, most ferry companies are not set up for online booking like this one, Alasan. So you actually have to physically come down here and buy your ticket. Some ferries will let you buy it days in advance, but like Fast Cat, they won't. You just have to buy a ticket for the next scheduled ferry. Over there in that yellow building behind that car, that's for Ocean Jet. So if I want to take a ferry to Bohol then to Cebu, I can do that. But my plane ticket is actually a lot cheaper than that option. So if you buy your tickets far enough in advance, I've come here before for like $15 on an airplane one way. So it can be cheap if you plan ahead. But most people here in this part of the world, not just the Philippines, but they don't really plan ahead. They just plan for the day. So they just buy tickets for whenever. So you kind of hail these tricycles like you would a taxi in the States. You see one coming, you put your finger in the air and hopefully they stop for you. It doesn't always work out that way. So over here they have porters. So if you get off a tricycle with your luggage, they'll take your luggage in. So I'm walking into the main passenger port area. They got all these tricycles lined up, waiting for rides. There's another ferry company, Dumaguete to Dipolog, 5 a.m. daily. So some of these ferries, they don't run all the time. Dumaguete, Dapitan? Excuse me. This one is George and Peter Lines. This is the one I use when I do ride a ferry. This one goes to Cebu, but not every day. I'll show you the schedule here. So that's what the ferry schedule is. So today, as I'm filming this, it is Wednesday. But apparently there's no trip according to that. And then you can take the ferry to Siquijor also. So there's many ferry lines. This is another popular one. This one goes everywhere in the Philippines. So anywhere you need to go. And the ticket office is generally open a few hours before. Here's another ferry line. These guys are buying tickets to Siquijor. Again, more ticketing offices. This is the Fast Cat. Next available boat is at 6. And then they have vendors selling food. A lot of people will buy it to take on the ferry. So, and then that's the area where you actually walk into to get to the terminal building. I don't have a ticket, so I won't be showing you that part. But the terminal building's pretty basic. Pretty basic. Not much going on. So here's a general overview of where the ships go, what day they go on, if they're fast boats or slow boats, and what days they go on. That's cool. Never noticed that here before. So there's a lot of places you can go. So you can go down to Zamboanga, which isn't recommended for foreigners, or you can go up north to Manila, which you could probably find a cheaper plane ticket. Yeah, that's cool. Alright, so I will probably cut off this video here. I'm gonna walk to this part here, which is the boulevard, but I'm gonna do that on a separate video. I don't want to make this a 40-minute video. So thank you for walking with me to the port, and if you like what you see, please subscribe, please like. See you later.